Jewish refugees in Kievan Rus, 11th century. The story of Jewish refugees in Kievan Rus during the 11th century is one of resilience, cultural exchange, and adaptation. This period, set against the backdrop of political upheavals, religious transformations, and the burgeoning trade networks of Eastern Europe, highlights the experiences of Jewish communities as they navigated life in a medieval Slavic polity. The context of migration, the 11th century was a turbulent time for Jewish communities across Europe. Waves of persecution, particularly in Western Europe, prompted significant migrations. The First Crusade, 1096, saw widespread violence against Jews in the Rhineland, leading many to flee eastward in search of safety. Some turned to Kievan Rus, a rising power in Eastern Europe, as a potential refuge. The region, with its relatively tolerant stance on religious minorities and its strategic location along trade routes, presented opportunities for resettlement. Kievan Rus, a loose federation of Slavic principalities under the Rurikid dynasty, was heavily influenced by its connections to Byzantium, Scandinavia, and the Islamic caliphates. This cosmopolitan environment made it a natural destination for refugees. The ruling elites, while predominantly Orthodox Christian, had a pragmatic approach to governance and trade, often welcoming skilled individuals regardless of their religion. Arrival and settlement. Jewish refugees arriving in Kievan Rus were likely met with a mixed reception. The major cities of the time, Kiev, Novgorod, and Chernihiv, were thriving commercial hubs where traders from different ethnic and religious backgrounds converged. Jewish merchants, already experienced in long-distance trade, integrated into these networks. They brought with them goods, knowledge, and connections that enhanced the economic vitality of Kievan Rus. While some refugees may have settled in established communities, others likely formed new enclaves. Archaeological evidence and historical records suggest that Jewish settlements in Kievan Rus were small but significant. They often occupied specific quarters within cities, where they could maintain their religious practices and cultural traditions. Religious tensions and coexistence. Despite their contributions, Jewish refugees faced challenges in Kievan Rus. The 11th century was marked by the Christianization of the region, following the conversion of Grand Prince Vladimir in 988. This shift to Orthodox Christianity brought about an emphasis on religious uniformity, which could sometimes lead to tension with non-Christian communities. However, evidence suggests that Kievan Rus was relatively tolerant compared to Western Europe. The lack of large-scale anti-Jewish violence during this period indicates that Jewish communities were able to coexist with their Christian neighbors. This coexistence was likely facilitated by the pragmatic approach of the rulers, who prioritized economic stability over religious conformity. Challenges and legacy. The Jewish refugees in Kievan Rus faced significant challenges, including cultural adaptation, limited legal protections, and occasional hostility from local populations. Nonetheless, they managed to preserve their identity and traditions, creating a foundation for future Jewish life in the region. The legacy of these communities can be seen in the enduring presence of Jewish culture in Eastern Europe. Over the centuries, Kievan Rus would evolve into a center of Jewish life, with thriving communities in cities like Kiev and later in the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth. The story of Jewish refugees in 11th century Kievan Rus is a testament to the resilience of these communities. Fleeing persecution in the West, they found a haven in the East, where they contributed to the economic and cultural vibrancy of their new homeland. Their experiences reflect the complexities of medieval life, where coexistence and conflict often went hand in hand. Today, their legacy endures as a reminder of the enduring human spirit and the importance of cultural exchange in shaping history,